Backrooms is out now in cinemas and I've just watched it. Let's discuss. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or if you're new then welcome on in. My name is Jay. In this video I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the new psychological horror film Backrooms. I am going to try something a little different with this review. I'm going to start out with my non-spoiler thoughts, and then after I've done that I'm going to move on and give you my spoiler thoughts. So as usual, if you don't want to know anything, then please save the video to your watch later playlist. You can watch it after you've seen the film. Before I move on to my spoiler thoughts halfway through the video, I will give a spoiler warning, so don't worry about that. Again, you can view my non-spoiler thoughts and then click away when I give you that spoiler warning. Last thing before we get started, please do go ahead, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell as well. That way you are notified when I post a new video. That is all of the housekeeping. Let's get into it. Backrooms is directed by Kane Parsons, who initially got his start on YouTube, where he was known as Kane Pixels. Parsons has already published the series, which was titled The Backrooms Found Footage. That was back in 2022, and I did not know about that series when it came out, but I did know about the associated viral trend that came with it, to do with all the liminal spaces. I saw all of that on Twitter a few years ago, and to this day, especially with the release of this film, I'm still seeing those images pop up as well. Stars of Backrooms include Chiwetel Ejiofor as Clark, the owner of a furniture store titled Capping Clark's Ottoman Empire, and he discovers that on the bottom floor of his furniture store, which never has any customers in it, that's kind of a mystery that the film doesn't really explore. There's just never any customers there. He's not doing very well in business, but whatever. Yeah, he decides to go down and step through this portal that he finds through one of the walls after the store experiences some electrical problems. Also present in the film is Clark's therapist Mary, played by Renee Rensive, who also finds her way into this other dimension at some point, as well as Clark's employees and couple Bobby and Kat, played by Finn Bennett and Lakita Maxwell, respectively. Now, the first thing about this film that really impressed me, perhaps unsurprisingly, is the actual look of the backrooms themselves. The cinematography, I think, is easily the film's biggest strength, and you can tell how much thought has went into the design of each of these rooms, which are endless, strangely constructed, often empty or at least sparsely filled with some really oddly constructed furniture or objects, and seemingly has nobody in them. It reminds me of the sets of several other pieces of media that I've seen, such as Severance, Loki, and also the Saw franchise, which of course involves a lot of characters at times being put into these seemingly unescapable environments and situations that they can't seem to get out of, which makes a lot of sense because James Wan served as a producer on this film. In reference to that original series, Backrooms also features a found footage element to it, where you've got the camera and you're seeing the point of view that was taken from the filmmaker that was using it in the film. And that reminded me of the Blair Witch Project as well, which again features that sort of unescapable situation, exploring this environment where you're not really sure what's going on. So a lot of references there to other pieces of media. Thankfully, the film does spend a lot of time in its greatest asset, which of course is exploring those backrooms, all those liminal spaces, as the characters try to uncover the secret dimension or the secret meanings of this dimension. Now, I will admit that I was left a little bit frustrated at times with the film as it failed to answer some of the key questions that I feel had been set up to be given an answer to. I did a review of Obsession last week. If you've not seen it, then you can check out my out of cinema reaction in the YouTube short section on the channel. Little plug there. But I saw that a lot of people were annoyed that, or a minority, a number of people, I should say, but still a critique nonetheless. They were annoyed that there was no exploration given as to what happened to the main character, Nikki, after the wish was made on the One Wish Willow at the very start of the film. For me, though, I didn't really care about that. I think the film Obsession that is gave us enough teases and clues as to what's happened, but it made clear that that wasn't the point of the film. There was never a priority made to explore the supernatural consequence or the supernatural reasons and for what happened to Nikki, but instead it was making clear that the focus was on the consequences of what happened after and the character relationships that ensued from that wish being made. Backrooms, on the other hand, does start out as one may expect with a journey through the rooms and trying to discover what they are, but by the end of the film, we're given some answers, but we leave the film in an inconclusive manner, and at some points it diverts to focus on the characters themselves and how their backstories are relevant to the present day actions. I think what is clear from Backrooms is that it's setting itself up for future installments, which Makes sense given that director Kane Parsons has said that we're going to be seeing more of this franchise in the not too distant future. Still, I think a film's got to work on its own, and whilst Backrooms mostly does, it did seem like it was being made with that intention of holding back details because it wants to save some reveals for a potential sequel or sequels, which, by the way, I would like to trademark the name right now back to the rooms because that name is just too obviously perfect, and I want it documented here that I thought of that first. Nevertheless, some audiences may find that the number of answers that we get in this film are enough, but for me, I would have liked a little more clarity. I'm happy with the answers we got, but I think there's more to be given, and hopefully the sequels do deliver on that promise. The actual mood of the film, created by the meticulously designed backrooms, is further embodied through the eerie score and the cautious amount of jump scares that we're given. It's a horror film, so yeah, you can expect that we get some jump scares, but they're used sparingly. The film is not about giving you those big unexpected surprises. It's a gradual journey through this new world that knows when to speed things up, but also knows equally when to slow things down. Moving on to the performances within Backrooms, which I think also have to be commended. Ejiofor has got layers to his character, which he gets to unpack, but I was also really surprised, pleasantly surprised, I should say, by how much Reinsef has to do in her performance as Mary. Ejiofor is the main character, but you shouldn't be shocked to learn that Reinsef has a lot to do as well, which makes a lot of sense because she is the woman on the poster of the film. In both cases, as I've said, the characters have got backstories that affect and play into their present day situations, though I thought that more could have been done in terms of giving a tighter connection to Mary's past and how that's impacting her present day. It is there, I just thought it could have been a little tighter. That being said, I wanted to spend as much time in the backgrounds as possible, so I suppose some things have got to be sacrificed for that. Maybe the film, and you don't hear me saying this a lot about films, could have been just a little bit longer, but hey, I enjoyed it nonetheless. That gets to the end of my non-spoiler review. Overall, I'm going to give Backrooms a solid rating of 4 stars. The low-budget horror genre, especially along with Obsession, which I mentioned earlier, is doing extremely well in the box office right now, and thankfully the same is holding true for audience reception. If you don't want to hear my spoiler thoughts, then this is your chance to click away. Before you do, please again hit that subscribe button. You can save that video to watch the playlist, like I said, come back when you've seen the film, but this is your final spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so back to what I was saying about some answers not being given. We meet the async researcher Phil, played by Mark Duplass, who openly admits that he doesn't really know what the backrooms are, and even though he's been studying them for years, now that they've captured the humanoid pirate Pete Clark, or Pirate Pete Clark, Pirate Clark, uh, and that they have Mary as well to answer some of the questions that they have over her time in the backrooms, it definitely seems like they're promising some more answers in future installments of the films. We do also, of course, end the film on that clone, that humanoid version of Mary in the poorly copied interrogation room that was created, but I'm wondering how and when that was made. I don't need to be told exactly what the backrooms are. I think we're given answers to that in this film, but I do think there's some more detail to explore. It does remind me a lot of The Upside Down in Stranger Things. We obviously got that in season one, and then for the next 5 seasons, we got more and more answers that were given as to what that dimension is. Um, but just more in terms of the whole copies of things in this world that seem to resemble what's going on, and that makes a lot of sense as well because just like I was talking about with James Wan and Saw, Sean Levi, who of course worked as an executive producer on Stranger Things, was also a producer of Backrooms. Also, when Mary first sees Clark in the background, when she goes in for that first time, she asks him how long he's been there, and he never gives an answer. I think he's cut off. I did note that. Is there some sort of time dilation maybe going on in the Backrooms? I don't know if that was the case in the original series that was made. That could maybe explain a bit more about Clark's actions since we last saw him. I know that we got a lot of that unpacked in his therapy sessions, how he's got a lot of buried anger under there, but does that really justify him killing his assistant manager and severing her head and putting it in the fridge? I'm not too sure about that. And when did he discover the other life forms, and at what point did he manage to get along with them? I know they turn on him later on in the film, but how did all that go? Those are just some more of the questions that I had. Okay, that truly is everything for this video. Final reminder, if you made it to the end, again, hit that subscribe button, leave a like as well, and let me know your thoughts down below, sorry, if you've seen the film already. That is all for this one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.